Well, hello there. Welcome to this video. It is one of those videos that I do that makes you think, so let me apologize in advance. I am actually going to whoop your backside. I'm going to take you on a journey that makes you think and makes you question some of the things you already do. I want to break some stronghold beliefs today for you. The reason why I'm doing this is because I want to advocate for your children and the people that you are raising and developing. The title of this one is Compliance is not the same as efficacy. Compliance is not the same as efficacy. Let me take you to the very beginning. You are a parent, and most of us parent children, and we want children to be compliant. Joe, jump, and you want him to comply and jump. Stop, you want him to stop. Go, you want him to go. And most of us position ourselves in pursuit of compliance. But today, I am hoping that I will help you to contest with this thing and realize some of the damage you can do when you focus on compliance. Human beings are agentic, especially when you are mature and you are an adult. You are supposed to be agentic. You should make certain decisions in your own life. You should have enough practice so that the decisions you make actually bring you the outcomes you want. Unfortunately, this is not a magical thing. It is something you do out of practice. But as a parent, you can also sabotage your children and make it impossible for them to do this. Those of you who focus on compliance and you make all the decisions, go, stop, sit, eat, blah, blah, you don't give your children chances to make decisions on the simple things that could help them to learn to make decisions on the big things. So let's go back to agentic raising of children. When your focus is agentic raising of children, compliance is not your main focus. No, efficacy is what you are looking for. You want your children to be able to decide the things that they are going to do. And you want them to see the consequences for the choices that they make. And no, you don't want them to be full adults where they make choices on big life-changing decisions, get it wrong, and affect their lives negatively. What you want is to give them choices from when they are young. Which color crayon are they going to use, the red one or the blue one? It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things which color they choose. But you will teach your children to choose the blue one and to see what the blue one does. And sometimes regret that they chose the blue one because their friend who chose the red one has done something better. And sometimes you want them to go back to the red one and draw and realize, it's not the crayon which makes the drawing nice. It is the artist who makes the drawing nice. It's a crayon and it's a drawing. It doesn't affect their lives in any meaningful way going forward, but they will learn valuable lessons going forward. You have teenagers, and you determine what your teenagers eat. Sandwiches for school, tick, you decide. The color of knickers they wear, tick, you decide. The kind of friends they keep, tick, you decide. The kind of air they breathe, tick, you decide. When on this earth are you going to allow your children a chance to decide something so that they can see whether their decision making is on point or not? Are you going to replace their brain? And how long can you do it for? You've got to, at some point, realize that it's a step-by-step decision. My daughter has a budget for her lunch money. And when she spent the whole budget on Wednesday, well, she is down to scraps Thursdays and Fridays. She's done it a couple of times and realized that she's going to eat scraps. And because she doesn't enjoy eating scraps, she's actually managing better at the moment. At the moment, she's managing what, 50 pounds a month, 50 pounds a week. It's not the end of the world if she mismanages it. I could give her a whole speech and tell her about how to manage money. But you see, this lesson I'm giving this kid on how to choose her own dinner is going to influence how she will choose her own rent, how she will choose her own shoes, how much of her income she's going to use for what, how she needs to budget her money when the money is large is actually being learned right now with simple things like the food she chooses to eat in school. I don't involve myself in that. Is it a risky strategy? Yes, they might make mistakes, but the stakes are low here. They will need to learn this to take to the high stake events, and you, the parent, will have to learn to stop being a control freak. And this is me. I am a celebrated control freak, but I have come to realize the damage you do to young children, young adults, when you focus on compliance. No, don't need them to speak the way you like to speak. Let them speak the way they want to speak. Let them take it into places and see how people respond. Let people actually target them and give them feedback on how they speak so they can see if their strategy works or it doesn't, and they can refine the strategy. But the decision making is something they need to practice. Yeah? Sometimes this is controversial, but you've got to let your children encounter some weird friends and to see how the weird friends affect things. It is much better you let your children encounter the weird friends in year 2, in year 3, when all the stakes are about the football on the playground, than for them to be teenagers and follow undesirable characters and make big mistakes in their life. You see, whether your children are able to be agentic or not is actually determined by you and how dominating you are. If you create opportunities for them to practice, they will get better. They will become better skilled. And eventually, when they make decisions, they will be confident in them because they do have a lot of experience. They've had feedback. When you are always hovering, when you are always deciding, when you are all about compliance, you actually do damage to your children. People say that rich people kids often end up clueless. It comes from here. Successful people kids are usually one of the ones who suffer because you have suffered in this life. I don't want my children to suffer. I want them to have a cushy life. You forget that you were able to make it to where you are because of the difficulties you encountered and how that toughened you out to be able to make decisions and stick at them. What's wrong with that? Why can't your children also get the option to be able to learn to toughen it out? You want to give them everything. You want to be very kind. I also want to say that in doing everything for them, you stop them from learning and you actually do them harm. When it comes to decision points, such children don't know what to do and they always rely on other external incompetent people to make the decisions for them. That's why peer pressure affects these children more. Those who are used to going off their own decisions, those who know that they will live by the consequences of their choices, those who have practiced and got feedback and are more confident in their abilities tend to do much better. So, are you a parent who is seeking compliance? Yeah, I know, I'm mixing it up. I'm asking you today to reconsider. Might not be your best strategy. No. Enforcement. Maybe at some point you need to ease off a little bit. Nope. Dominating. No. And I'm a very dominating character, just so you know. But those of us who know that we are dominating by nature need to be conscious of it and learn to step back and stop being the control freaks that we naturally are supposed to be and become better parents who raise well-rounded children who get opportunities to take more control of their own lives as they age. After all, past a certain age, they will not live with you. You will not be there to make the decisions. So it is actually in your best interest and in that of your child to help them to build themselves up, to being able to make these decisions on their own and getting it right first time. See, compliance is not always the best policy. Efficacy is a much better policy when you think about it as a parent. I apologized, but I don't actually apologize. I look forward to mixing your head up and making you rethink some of these stronghold beliefs. Hopefully, rethinking some of these will help us to modify in meaningful ways that get us better outcomes. Assalamu alaikum, as my hosts will say. It actually means may the peace of the Lord be with you. And happy parenting, and hope that we become more competent because of these things that we encounter and think about. See you in the next video.